Today we are hauling a bicycle. No, really, a whole bicycle.
And the first time I did this, let's just say it was a little bit janky. So this is a story of how I learned to tow a bike properly. Let's get you up to speed. My Tern GSD electric long-tail cargo bike needs new brakes. I have the brake pads, but not the desire to do it this time. So the mission is simple. Get it to the London Bicycle Cafe downtown here in London, Ontario, Canada. The catch? I don't want to use a car when I have a Tern GSD, which stands for Get Stuff Done. So it's time for me to get stuff done with this electric cargo bike. Oh, you might be wondering why I'm towing this other bicycle behind the Tern. Well, it's my other trusty steed, with over 13,000 kilometers on its odometer.
Handling is unaffected, really. Just a normal bike ride.
And once I drop off my cargo bike, it's my transportation from the shop and then back to the shop to pick up the cargo bike. As for the Tern, it already has over 2,000 kilometers on it within just the last few months of owning it, and it's been amazing. Now, with maintenance, I typically do a lot of my own work on our bikes and e-bikes because a lot of the time, it's quite doable. But just like doing your own work on, let's say, your car, sometimes you just don't want to do it. For the actual brake pads themselves, I purchased them on AliExpress quite a few weeks ago. I'm not sure of their quality, but if they last a season and another 2,000 kilometers like the current ones did, then I'll be able to get another big maintenance job done in the spring, once my chain and cassette entirely wear out through the winter's grime and road salt, etc. But these bikes allow for us to forego owning, maintaining, insuring, fueling, and all of the other associated costs with owning an entire second car. So I see a maintenance job like one of these every once in a while as more of a savings than an actual cost. Here's my towing setup.
I don't know, it's a little bit janky this time. This wheel is held on just through a, pretty loose knot. But anyways, single knot. Then I have like this so that the tire, doesn't pop out. Anyways, it's attached to the frame with a cam buckle strap yet again. Then it's just around here and attached to the other part of the frame. And honestly, not even that tight. A lot of the heavy lifting is done right here, which I can see the paint wearing away. Whoops.
As you can see, the metal on metal contact was taking its toll. Not the end of the world, but it's definitely not ideal. It worked, but I knew there had to be a better way.
But yeah, the bike was on a slant the entire time, but there's basically no weight back there compared to when I'm on it or anyone else is on it. So, probably fine. So we successfully got across town. I think that's like 8 kilometers or something, maybe 10 kilometers. I just took it like maybe 5 kilometers an hour slower than I normally would. And we're here, no problems.
The next day when the shop had serviced the Tern, I headed off on a slightly different route to run a few errands before showing up to pick up the bike. This is pretty normal for me because it's just so efficient. But it's only efficient because of the great work that the City of London has been doing over the last decade or so. Although these painted bike lanes are not at all protected, there's still at least the vibe of, hey, you want a bicycle? You're allowed to be here. And so, where we live here in our part of the city in Huron Heights, there are maybe 2 or 4 routes that we travel along by bike to access the rest of the city. This right here is a perfect example of simply moving parking spots out from the curb and squeezing in a bike lane, where there wasn't one before. Everyone's happy. Now, when I stop for a short time and there aren't proper bike racks, I often just throw a U-lock on around my frame and a signpost, because that's all I got here. I'm going to be in and out of this place real quick. But the pinheads on my front wheel make it so that I don't have to worry about someone taking it because it's a quick release, which saves me a lot of time and headache and even just thinking about it when I'm inside. Of course, just like right here, people outside of cars are often left to fend for themselves when construction happens. Although it's annoying, the story that plays in my head is that people outside of motor vehicles are, technically, more nimble than those stuck in cages. But it doesn't help those who aren't as confident on bicycles, and that means we haven't yet figured out AAA, or all ages and abilities, infrastructure. We've got parts of it through the city. We've got some really good things, but there are so many lacking pieces that there's no cohesive, connected network for getting around on a bicycle, which stops a lot of potential people from biking. Okay, back to the shop here. When it went back to the shop, I asked the mechanic, Alex, who's pretty awesome, for a secret weapon, a bicycle tire inner tube that had died. They have many uses around shops and homes, but today this old inner tube is living another life as a protector.
Okay, so I've done something different this time, which is just put a dead tube right on here so that it doesn't scratch the metal on the actual seat arms.
This simple, free piece of rubber acts as a protective barrier, saving my rack's paint and the bike's fork. I just wish I had thought of this for the initial ride over, because the paint got a little bit messed up. It's not the end of the world though, because that's what utility bicycles are meant to be used for. Doing things, getting stuff done. With the tube in place, I also figured out a better way to secure the frame and the wheel to the cargo bike, tying it around here and making sure that the tire was actually seated properly on the rail and not falling off. It was a little bit floppy before. And now that the bike was a bit more secure, I could actually go a bit faster as well, compared to my initial meandering trip to the shop with the bike in tow. Oh, random bit of information for those of you in London. Bikes are often allowed in the red bus lanes. Check out the signs when in doubt. So, what are my learnings from this? Well, that there aren't actually really that many good videos online about how to tow a bicycle properly. And to be honest, I know that a lot of people don't have a cargo bike at their disposal, so I guess I'm gonna have to figure out a good way to transport a bicycle with a normal bicycle in a future video. But at least you and I now know the proper way to haul anything with metal against metal contact for more than just a few hundred meters is to use a dead tire tube as a buffer and tie the frame and wheels securely to the tow bike. Woo! We learned something! These two seemingly little mundane trips to and from the bike shop is what my philosophy is all about. It's definitely not about being perfect. It's about using your tools, learning as you go, and figuring out how to solve problems without a car. A little bit of paint scraped off of your bike is just a sign that you're actually using your bike for its intended purpose, and having a bit of fun along the way. I also picked up a set of studded tires for the Tern GSD while I was at the checkout with Alex, the bike mechanic. The thing that absolutely sold me instantly on this set of $350-ish Canadian dollars of studded tires is the fact that if I buy them from the London Bicycle Cafe, that price includes a lifetime of summer to winter and back again swaps, twice per year. Once from summers to winters and once from winters to summers. That right there is so worth it to me just for the convenience factor. And so that's why I bought them. If you've gotten this far into the video, thanks for watching. I appreciate it because I make these types of videos knowing that they don't typically get as many views compared to a lot of the other types of videos that I do. This type is kind of like vlogging, I'd say. Maybe a little bit of a hybrid with voiceover? All right, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.